up here I was going to show. This here's my screen, green screen. Marrow seed, it's starting to pop up. Multiple different kinds of Egyptian wheat, sorghum, and all kinds of different stuff. There wouldn't be anything in there for forage for here to eat really, but it gets really tall. It's a blocker. And as you know, down here at the bottom, I ran it down the right side, then I ran it up the left side, so it's not the best ground right here with the bottom washout, but the left side should be blocker and the right side should be blocker. This should just be a little corridor in here. And then the other day, I was able to get out and round up all my beans. And man, this clover plot's killing it already. Electric fence really saved these beans. I'm gonna be smart and just shut it off. Just be safe, because I know those are outside the fence, but man, they're doing good. I got to munch on them a little while before I really got them sprayed. And you can see I got a little drift over here onto my clover with my Roundup. I was afraid of that. But that ain't gonna kill nothing. I'm glad I didn't get any more than that. I had quite a bit of grass on this edge. I was trying to get some of that too. But man, when you look at them beans, you think about them babies are gonna start spreading out. And I think that's gonna be a real nice soybean field. I'd say some of them are 12 inches tall. Yeah, this last second, throwing up this electric fence kind of saved my butt on these. I wasn't going to do it. My son-in-law kept telling me, oh, you got to try to save these because they're so nice. And then when they whipped that half acre out up top, it didn't even leave any stubble. What seemed like a lot of work to go to lose all of them. If they would leave them alone, they'd have a lot more food later. But they are really doing good. That was the main deer trail. They come down there and they still have enough room for them to go around the fence. This clover field, as usual, is thick as heck. But we've had some pretty dry. We've had some pretty dry weather. There's a chicory. Almost looks like a dandelion leaf. Clover. There's alfalfa in here. It grows a lot better up on that hillside and the backfield. But I would like to have them fertilize this for years. I mean, it grows like crazy. I'm already mowing it a lot, but we haven't had no rain. And I've tied up for 5 days, and if we could get a dry spell and then a spot of rain, I definitely want to fertilize the back. We're gonna take a ride back there and see how we're doing on that. I sprayed all the clover back there for the grasses and weeds with the sleigh and the Tapout. So we're gonna go check that out. And this field's doing real nice. Anyway, let's take a run to the back and check out some of my other screens and see how the plots are doing back there. All right, getting back a little farther. Here's some more screen. This runs into a crossing, and after it goes over the crossing, it goes clear up the hill, and I run the same thing all the way up past that other hill. I'm guessing I got about 10 foot of screen, maybe 8-10 foot. But it runs all the way down to my next crossing, and that runs all the way back. Ends up going clear back up to the ranch. But it's getting pretty good. It's getting tall, especially for not having no rain and everything. I think it looks kind of spindly, but later on this year, if it keeps working out like it's supposed to, like it did the last time, and this is a different brand here, but they're both screens, and I got them both posted. I'll post both brands again, but the first two up there were green screen. I'll have to look up the name of this one again. This one runs up the corner pole, and then I got more green screen to the left, and then there's some of this stuff on the south side of my property. But we'll go check out some more stuff and see how it's doing after the rain. All right, we're up into that ½ acre of ground I put in the beans, and had beans everywhere, really good germination. And I said there wasn't 2 or 3 beans left up here. Well, I Roundup'd it because they're Roundup ready beans like the rest of them. And there are a few beans in here. I mean, there's one, there's a nice size one. But they're sparsely through here. And I'm guessing now that I round up and they stick out like a sore thumb, they probably won't last long. But this is what a ½ acre will look like if you don't fence it. But I am surprised now that it got killed off a little bit. What was underneath there? We got a few beans through here. We'll watch them and see how long they make it. But you know, beans will bush out quite a bit, but I just don't think they're gonna have a whole lot of a chance. What'll happen is the weeds will start growing back up in there because Roundup's just gonna kill what's there. But it makes it pretty easy pickings for the deer. But you know, when they can go up there and get all that clover and chicory and alfalfa, I don't know why they want to come down here and pick these little bean heads off, but they like to. Tender, I guess. Anyway, you can tell between this ½ acre, and that's about a ½ acre I got down below the house down there that's fenced off, which field of beans would you rather have coming toward fall? Yeah, that's a good question. All right, this is my back 40 chicory, alfalfa, and clover plot that got I couldn't get under control really with mowing. It's had a hard time, like I said, from the first year I put it in, because we had lost a crossing. You can see there's still some grass in there, but the stuff that's in here is pretty yellow looking. Most all the broadleaf I can see it's killed out. It's not as thick a field as down below. Got some good looking alfalfa, chicory, clover. This plot's got everything you need. It just isn't quite as thick as what I'd like to be. There's a lot of alfalfa in here. That's good because deer love it. And there's the yellow grass, it's dying out. But as soon as we get a little bit of where it's not raining, I can get up here. I might put some fertilizer on this. And I seen one guy, people, I saw one guy, he was using his broadleaf and his grass herbicide, and he was mixing liquid fertilizer right in with it and going in and spraying his clover plots. And I mean, it's hard enough to kill the grasses and weeds just spraying them, and getting them all. It's not, it's not the easiest thing, and you don't want to over mix it. But any fertilizer you put down, you're helping the weeds. So I don't really agree with that. If I'm gonna fertilize my clover fielder, and I'm gonna kill off the weeds first and the grasses, make sure they're on their got a good dying leg going on before I fertilize. Either they're dead, they're gone, or well, they're like this, all dried up and yellow. But I'm not going to fertilize at the same time I'm trying to kill stuff. To me, that's kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. But I don't know, I could be wrong. You know, that's just my take on it. But the field looking really good. And I'm going to change this camera out. Looks like we might get some rain tonight. My peach trees are doing good. My apple trees are doing good. Or my pear trees. I got them sprayed. This camera will probably have a lot of deer with velvet on it, so I'm interested in changing that, and maybe I'll put up some photos. We'll see. Anyway, we're going to get on out here and check some more food plots. All right, this is my back soybean field. You can see they're doing really good. They're boot tall. Got a little yellow tint to them. Some of them, I think that's due to the severe drought we had. And it had a lot of weed competition and grasses up here, which I did hit with the Roundup. And even though these are Roundup ready beans, I don't know when you slap them with Roundup in the middle of a drought that it's helping them out any. But this grass will all lay down, turn into mulch, which that's probably good. And daggone, these soybeans are really growing. The babies are. And you can see where I drove. They just popped right back up. Didn't hurt them at all. Yeah, look at this soybean field. I only got a couple acres, but you got to think these things are going to bush out a lot, and they ain't going to get no browse pressure. I mean, if there's a deer in here, I'll know about it because I got my 360 right there. Like I said, it's not impossible to get a deer in here once in a while, but if it gets in here, they usually don't like to browse by themselves, and they end up running back out. But I haven't seen any at all in here since I got that fence readjusted. I had just one in here. I might want to come up and do a little weed whacking. Usually when you get this brush, anything that's touching the fence, if it does, none of that's actually touching the fence, but if you get something that's touching the fence, it usually turns it brown, kills it, makes it a non-conductor, but I still don't like it getting too brushy around the fence. But yeah, I'm really satisfied with this. These babies grow up, and I'll let them grow on. And I won't unfence this till late. Late. They won't get the green foliage really. They'll be after them dry soybeans. Oh yeah. And this goes on down around that corner. It goes all the way that way, clear. I didn't fence that in out that way, but then up over the hill and around the corner the other way. But like I said, the stuff that didn't get fenced in don't seem like it lasts too long. You can see the rows here where even though we put them a little deep, we do have rows. But I did broadcast this also. I'd love to get a planter. They're expensive. When you got a farm that doesn't make any money, you just keep putting money into it for deer, and then you don't hardly ever shoot a deer. It's just kind of a labor of love, I guess. Building up your property. It's fun to take the grandkids out, and of course I still go, but I'm always looking for something bigger. They look like they're getting ready to start touching, but this was all the same thing, beans, and it all got sprayed too. And there's still beans in here, but it killed off a lot of weeds, and Not near as many beans, but there are of the beans. They're not near as tall. I don't know if they've been nipped off already or must miss the Roundup in that little center section. But I'm sure before time this will all get picked off, and I'll put a cover crop in here. I'll probably start planting sometime August. Anyway, so the back 40 food plot, the bean plot's doing good. It's fenced in. Still got beans in some areas where I didn't fence. When I got to cover all of them because I got all kinds of area over on the east side and coming back around. But the old 3-wire fence works pretty good. It creates that 3-dimensional effect, and the deer don't want to mess with it. Oh yeah. Of course, them's all soybeans all the way around and all the way down around the corner. Anyway, we're gonna change out a couple cards and look at some velvet and maybe look at a couple other food plots. Check a couple other screened areas. So we'll see what else we got going on here. All right, this is back where I put in the water tank year before last, and I just cleared a lot of this woods back here. My son-in-law helped me. We cleared a lot of this off, and it was just solid pucker brush. You couldn't even walk through it or see through it or nothing. And we used the Milwaukee pole saw. No, we used his DeWalt, I think, before I had my Milwaukee. And I came out here and trimmed a couple things off this year I haven't picked up yet. But this year I just come back and bush hogged it because it was pretty grassy. And I just threw Alpha Rack Plus in here, right in that long grass last year. I didn't even do anything, just wondered what had happened. And I did frost seed it earlier this year when the snow was on the ground a little bit, but I've never sprayed anything, and all I did was mow it. We've had a real droughty year. I didn't see that much clover in here, you know, when it was all growed up, but now that I'm back here now, there's a lot of clover, chicory. There's been a little around this tank pretty good, but in all these other places, clover, chicory, and alfalfa, as I'm walking around here, I mean, for not doing anything, not tilling, not disking, not doing a kill off, not doing anything, just broadcasting seed into grass and weeds. Not the perfect use of seed, but I was just giving it a shot. And look at that, it's trying to take over. And you know, when you mow it down like that, and clover getting down to a 3-foot root, and grass not doing such as good, you can see how that grass from the drought started dying off when I mowed it. But man, a lot of that's all alfalfa. And it's under that grass all around. I'm pretty impressed, actually. This was an area I just didn't want to. I want to put some work into it, but I didn't want to put a ton into it. I might get the NCRS involved in this area for some bedding and get me some help with some habitat. It's always good to help you out with stuff. But I just wanted to give a little follow up on what that seed did. I'm thinking it did pretty good. All right, let's go check out that other screen. Looks like we got some wall cloud coming in. It started to rain on me, but that screen all the way down that way to that other crossing where we were at. It's not doing very good right here at the top. But then that screen all the way through there. The ride for this one. Along the fence the whole way. Trying to get back before I get struck by lightning. Right down in here to the bottom. This is where I have a pond sometimes. But when I get busy with it. And then I picked up the screen again right here. You can see it going right there. Right up against the fence. And I stopped right in here. Sorry about that. This is pretty thick, so I didn't figure I need the screen here. And this is just off one of my good food plots, cereal rye. And I got the screen here. Looking pretty good. Running all the way over the hill. Thorns on me. Stopped it right here. So the deer come up here and they'll have all this tall stuff, 10 foot tall, tend to kind of go to the left of these trees and funnel them into that other food plot, which I'll just show you here real quick. Alright, it's raining on me a little bit, but this is the cereal rye left over from last year. I drove on a little bit, but all them seed heads, that's all free seed. Even if it's laying down, I'll either chop it off and then till it in a little bit, or I'll just till it in like it is, I'm not sure. And I'll put some winter wheat in with it, and some others. Gotta cut that stump off one of these days. Anyway, this is a deer magnet back in here. They love to scrape back in here. That's why I like to put a little cover at the end of this plot. I don't have nobody that hunts out on the fence or nothing on me. I got really good neighbors, but it's just nice. They feel secure when you put up that blocker, you know. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's just the more secure them deer feel that you can hold them in there. Anyway, it's good to see. My beans are coming along. The ones I didn't fence in ain't doing so good. But that's that green screen, and it's doing really well. So get a little, it's about time to put a little urea on that. But like I said, I just got back home, and we're gonna back it on out of here for now and get back up to the ranch house before this baby hits. Take it easy. Whoa, back to the ranch house just in time. Look at that. I'm not sure when we got that emptied last, because I've been gone for 5 days, but we're right at about 2.5 inches now. Not quite, 2 3/4. No, just a hair under 2.5 inches. We'll see what tonight brings.